Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Twitch supplementary guide. Now we have not yet covered Twitch in the updated complete guide. I'm still working on it, haven't really played Twitch all that much. Recently I've kind of just picked him back up, and this is gonna be one of like the first 5 games that I played on Twitch. Since past patch 4.4. Like last time I played Twitch was like patch 4.3 something. So it's been some time because I have a lot of other champions that I would play instead, or would rather play at least at the beginning while I'm figuring out their builds and stuff. But anyways, today we're going to be covering a sort of not the most optimal build of Twitch, but this is a very situational build of Twitch. So this is a on-hit kind of Twitch that works very well against tanks and very well against magic damage. Why? Because obviously we have Blade of the Rune King, which does percent health damage, and we have Wit's End, which of course gives you not just on-hit damage but also magic resist. Of course, if you're not playing against a lot of magic damage, it's still okay to go for Wit's End, but it's a little bit less valuable. So without further ado, let's jump into the build. So first up, we're starting off with Gluttonous Greaves. Now normally on Twitch, I would start off with the Berserker Greaves with the attack speed boots, but in this build, we have 3 attack speed items at the beginning. So of course, you do get a spike in terms of AD for Gluttonous Greaves, but you don't have the attack speed to quickly stack up your passive. And of course, that is going to be a minor issue, but you're going to pretty much solve it by the time you get like 1 or 2 items. So of course, you get Omnivamp, you get attack speed, attack damage, not attack speed, and movement speed. So first item we're going to go for is Blade of the Rune King. Now this of course gives you a little bit of AD, a good amount of attack speed. Of course you get the physical vamp, and then of course you get the current health on hit damage, as well as of course the drain passive, which of course steals people's movement speed and does damage as well. So really good first item for Twitch, especially against a tanky team. And then of course Runan's Hurricane is pretty much a staple in Twitch builds because you want to be able to get your poison onto 3 people at the same time. So Runan's Hurricane allows you to do that. Of course it also gives you a little bit of on-hit damage and a little bit of AD. And next up, we're going to go for Wit's End. So Wit's End, of course, more on-hit damage, gives you healing when you're below 50% health. So decent amount of healing as well. You have healing from Blade of the Rune King, healing from Wit's End, as well as healing, of course, from the Gluttonous Greaves. And of course, we also have more attack speed and just on-hit damage. So a lot of attack speed, 35% here, 45% here, another 45% here. Which is why I don't want to get attack speed boost, because that's just too much attack speed. Like, you don't want that much. So second last item, we're going to go for Maul Reminder. Now this one is pretty much 4 Grievous Wounds as well as Armor Penetration. Of course, against a tanky team, even more Armor Penetration is going to be amazing, and that's exactly what we're going for. And the last item, you can, of course, opt for a defensive option like GA, or you could also go for other defensive options like Starex, like Crown. Of course, Twitch also benefits from Crown because he does have AP scalings. I guess you could even go for other items, for example, like even Maw if you need even more magic resist if you're playing into like a 4 magic damage champions for some reason. Or you can also go for some offensive options like, of course, Bloodthirster as a last item works as well, because it gives you more damage, but it also gives you a lot of safety with the with the physical vamp. So that could work as well. So for the runes, now honestly this one's a bit contentious. Now obviously we don't need Lethal Tempo, because of course Lethal Tempo, we don't need any more attack speed, we already have enough of it. So I mainly considered 3 runes: Conqueror, Kraken Slayer, and First Strike. So I felt that First Strike as a Twitch ADC is just not very good because you don't really have a lot of opportunities to proc it, and also First Strike is very burst focused, which Twitch can do very well, but honestly, when you're playing against a team of tanks, when you go for this build, you're not going to burst anybody, so First Strike doesn't really work. So then it basically becomes a Conqueror versus Kraken Slayer. So with this build, you have a lot of attack speed, so you can proc Kraken Slayer very often, but the issue is, Kraken Slayer scales with AD. And you don't have a lot of AD. You have like 20 here, 15 here, none here, and like 30 here. So you don't have a lot of AD, right? So Kraken Slayer is not really the best. But then you have Conqueror as well. So Conqueror, of course, takes time to stack up and could be good in like longer fights. So basically, essentially what I'm trying to say here is between Conqueror and Kraken Slayer. Right, both are good for different reasons. Kraken Slayer, of course, is good in the early game, and of course you can proc it very often with attack speed, but it doesn't really do that much damage because you don't really scale well with it. So overall, either one is good. In the gameplay, I went for Kraken Slayer. And of course we go for Brutal, because obviously we're going to attack really quickly, so we're going to get a lot of extra Brutal damage. Giant Slayer, of course, playing against tanks is a no-brainer. And I like to go for Bloodline here because honestly, as I said, there's more than enough attack speed. I don't think we need Legend Alacrity. And finally, for your last rune, you have a couple of options. Firstly, it's going to be Sudden Impact. This is the most high damage rune you can go for because whenever you come out of stealth, which is pretty much going to be every time you want to, get into a fight, you get extra 13 armor and magic penetration. So that is going to be really good. Of course, you have more defensive options. Of course, that being your bone plating. So you can really kind of decide whether you want to go more offensively or more defensively, depending on how safe you feel in the game. And finally, for the summoner spells, you want to take Flash, and you want to take Ghost like 95% of the time, because Twitch is supposed to be very far away anyway. You shouldn't really be close enough to like exhaust people regardless, so I like to go for Ghost for the mobility. And yeah, so with all that said, let's jump into talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now we're taking a look at the gameplay. So as I mentioned pretty briefly in the build section, you want to play this particular build when you're against a lot of tanks mainly, but also hopefully you're against some AP. So this match fits both criteria. We have, of course, Garen and Amumu, both of whom are going tank. It's not like an AP Amumu or something like that. He has Aftershock and he started with the Shimmering Spark. And on the other side, we also have a Twisted Fate and a Galio, both, of course, AP damage champions. So I felt that was a really good game to pull out this build. Now, I think that there is a more optimal build on Twitch, a full crit build, which I will definitely cover in the updated complete guide. When we have a gameplay for it, and when I get in more games of Twitch. But alright, so now something I want you guys to keep in mind at the very start of the gameplay is that the whole game, even as myself playing Twitch, I really felt I didn't really do that much damage. But I just want to let you guys in on how much damage I actually did, which is at the end of the game, I believe I did 44% of the team's damage, and I got an S rating, better than 98% of Twitches. So this is legitimately like one of the top Twitch gameplays, at least at this rank, and it really doesn't seem like it, and it doesn't seem like it to me as well when I was playing, but it was really just because when you're playing against tanks, you just feel like you're not doing a lot of damage, but in reality you kind of are, just that they're really tanky, so your damage numbers are really, really high. And you just don't notice it, which happens, of course, from time to time. But honestly, in Wild Rift, tanky teams are not even that common nowadays. You normally have teams where there are like 3 ADCs or like 4 ADCs even. Like, it's more common than having a team with like 2-3 tanks at this point. Anyways, here we managed to actually go in onto the Zeri. Zeri is forced to flash. I'm trying to flash after to try to kill her. Unfortunately, though, we're in a pretty unfortunate situation where we get exhausted and she tries to pick up the fruit, and I need to pop my E, but I'm exhausted, and so I either pop it early or pop it late. Either way, I can't kill her, which is pretty unfortunate. But here, she runs into the river and gets caught, and here it looks like a free kill. Unfortunately, Leona manages to grab the kill somehow, and we don't get the kill. And Galio is kind of semi-trolling here because he kind of just leaves his Zeri alone 1v2. Like, this lane, you can see when Galio was around, this lane was really tough because Galio and Zeri both could just poke us because they have really long ranges with their Qs, and whereas I can't really do very much. Like, if I toss a W, it's not gonna really do any damage, and I can't really commit to an all-in. Leona as well has to commit to an all-in. She can't really poke at all, so the lane is actually supposed to be really rough for us because Zeri and Galio both have a good amount of good amount of range to poke. So it should be pretty tough, but because Galio kind of trolls the Zeri and just roams around constantly, we actually end up having quite an easy lane because Galio's just not there. So it works out really well. Here we almost catch Zeri recalling in the middle of the lane. Unfortunately, we did not. So here, anyways, we're just going to clear out the minions, and the minion wave is now stuck on our side, so we don't want to push it out too fast because this would mean that Zeri has to walk all the way over here. I killed one minion quickly to kind of set up a slow push. I'm of course pinging that Galio is missing. We can see him in the mid lane. And here we're just slowly accumulating our minions. So if we can get a fight with Zeri, we're gonna be in a pretty good situation. Speaking of which, here Leona goes in. Galio actually comes back with the ulti, and I basically just get chain CC'd. Even if I didn't die there, the Twisted Fate ulti would have guaranteed that I died. So yeah, as I said, the gameplay doesn't really look all that good, at least at the beginning. It does get better later, but for now, we're not doing too hot. Of course, as a 0-item Twitch, you don't really do that well unless enemy team gets completely, or enemy champion gets caught completely out of position and you are able to just burst them down and kill them, which is not the most likely But yeah, so now we're headed back into lane. Nice wave accumulated for us, so we're just gonna quickly grab this wave. Now Evelyn is here trying to apparently go in onto the enemy bot lane. So here I'm able to get off a full stack onto the Gallo, and because of that I can pop my E and transfer the full stack to the Zeri and a couple of minions as well while I'm at it. So here Evelyn clearly looks like she wants to dive, so I'm quickly pushing in the wave so we can perhaps get in a dive here. I'm in stealth, of course the tower can now see me. Leona gets a beautiful ult onto 2 and we're able to kill both of them. Unfortunately, for me that is, Evelyn gets both kills, so I end up having 3 assists and no kills, which, you know, of course, is not really the best in the world, especially because when you notice Evelyn building, she's building like Death Cap first item because she has a needlessly large rod, which looks like she's gonna build Death Cap, which I think is a horrible first item because it now scales with your level, so it's really not gold efficient as a first item. There are so many better first items. I mean, pretty much any item is better as a first item than Death Cap. But anyways, because we're lacking attack speed, we're gonna go for the recurve bow component first. From the Blade of the Rune King. It's a lot better than getting the Vamp Scepter part because you don't really need the AD and the physical Vamp. You rather have the attack speed at this point in the game. So here the first dragon is up. I'm gonna have to quickly clear this wave first because if not, you know, we're gonna lose a lot of gold. So here I'm just quickly clearing up the wave. The wave now resets to neutral state and I'm ready to go in. I'm stealthing and seeing what I can do. The enemy team is split up. Zeri and Galio are on the top side and Amumu and Twisted Fate on the bot side. Amumu somehow misses his bandage toss. And it's a pretty dicey situation. I don't know why the Akshan decides to go in by himself onto both of them, but he just basically dies. Now Galio gets on the correct side. Zeri is following as well, and now the enemy team is just taking over the dragon. And our jungler, the Evelyn, is also just not here. Now here basically a miracle fight happens where I'm able to kill the Amumu. I get the reset and kill the Zeri as well. I'm left at 1 HP from the Galio and I'm actually able to kill him and the dragon almost kills me. So I have to quickly reset the dragon aggro and actually pick up the dragon. So this was honestly a really good fight where obviously we got 3 kills and the dragon, which is, you know, couldn't really go too much better than that. But it was really messy honestly because Evelyn sort of like just, I mean, firstly, Akshan just went in and committed suicide. Secondly, Evelyn just decided to ditch the whole fight and go, I don't know, try to kill Twisted Fate or something. And we basically ended up in 2v3, which somehow, or not really somehow, using Twitch's ult and his range, we managed to kite out like Galio and Amumu basically. And of course, Zeri cannot compete with our range as well when we pop our ulti, and we're basically able to just blast them down, especially you know, with the attack speed we got from the recurve bow together with the AD we got from the Gluttonous Greaves, we were able to get enough damage to burst them down and you know, get reset after reset in terms of the invisibility, and we're basically able to kill all of them. And we're also really lucky to survive on 1 HP and not get killed by the dragon or any of them, so really kind of a nice scenario there. So now we have Blade of the Rune King completed, so we should be able to do more damage to Garen and Amumu in particular. Of course, everybody else as well, but Garen, Amumu, and you know, Galio is also like semi-tank. Like, so here I'm getting like a free trade onto Zeri. You can see like 1 free trade is like half health. So here Twisted Fate ult. So I'm gonna run back in case he decides to ult here now. He could just be ulting back to mid lane. He could be ulting to bot lane because Garen is getting 2v1, or he could be ulting to here. So I don't see him, so I assume that he's not here. So I'm just gonna go up and get this ace, but it turns out he was just patiently waiting in the bush. So here, honestly, this one was on me, especially because I did not know where he is, and I decided to just walk up to get minions. I just assumed based on the fact that he did not appear that he was not here. You know, honestly, most Wild Rift players are not very patient, so normally they will just show themselves, but this guy actually played it really well by just staying in the bush and lulling me into a false sense of confidence, and then getting the shutdown on me, of course, because I just got 3 kills. So now they're trying to force the tower, and Leona is just trying her best to defend. In the meantime, my whole team is now rotating. Akshan gets the first kill onto the Zeri, tries to go onto the Twisted Fate. In the meantime, Galio is getting jumped on by Evelyn as well as Leona. Leona pops the ulti to slow Galio down, and the kill gets finished by Akshan. He picks up a triple kill. And in the meantime, because I know that I'm not going to make it in time for the fight, out of the base, instead I just go straight to mid lane to pick up the farm. Now that Garen and Amumu are there though, I'm trying to see if I can join my team because they're going to need backup. But you know, turns out they already die, so it's a little bit too late. And Evelyn's able to just run away with her invisibility. So I'm back to mid lane, back to farming the mid lane. And here I'm just trying to get a little bit of tower damage. I'm obviously not going to be able to get the tower for the entire tower for free, but just getting a little bit until somebody comes, which is Galio. In this case, I'm just going to walk away. Turns out that this was a mistake, because here I'm trying to burst down the Amumu. Amumu is a little bit too tanky for me still. I'm able to nearly kill him, but I get chain CC'd by Twisted Fate and Galio, and I just end up dying. Of course, Twisted Fate can flank really easily using using that ulti, so I basically am caught between them and I can't get to safety, which is basically a death sentence. So not too good here. We killed 3 people, but now we've died like 2 more times after that, so that's not too good. Alright, now we have to, of course, salvage the situation. In terms of gold, we're still doing pretty well. Of course, the highest gold in the game is like Garen, who's like getting a lot of tower plates and stuff. So he's at 8k gold. Amumu's close behind, and then we have Twisted Fate at like 7k gold. Me and Akshan for my team are at about 7k gold. So you can see that there's like a 2k gold lead on the enemy team. It's mostly on the Garen and the Amumu. At this point, because Twisted Fate and Akshan are about the same goal, and I'm like about half a thousand gold ahead of Zeri. So most of the gold lead is of course on Amumu and Garen, which of course, as we know, because we are going for this like kind of tank busting build, we are gonna semi counter them. Of course, tanks are still tanks, so we're not gonna like shred them instantly or anything like that. But we definitely are. We do have a build where we can definitely do a lot more damage than we could if we were building the normal crit build, against tanks. Alright, so here we finished our Runan's Hurricane. Of course, this is our next big power spike. Now being able to poison like 3 people at the same time is going to be amazing. And of course, in team fights, it's going to be really, really huge. So here looks like a fight is breaking out. I'm just going to stealth in and see what I can do. The enemy team is able to actually pick up the dragon. Here, I'm just popping the ulti and just blasting away. Making sure to get as many stacks as possible before I pop my E. Now I'm just kiting away again. You can see that I'm not really taking damage. I don't even get hit by Amumu's ulti. I'm just kiting away, trying to kill Amumu. Amumu's like so low, he finally dies. I get the stealth reset, and that's the only reason why I don't die here, because I managed to get my stealth reset, and when Twisted Fate stunned me, I became invisible, so they couldn't actually attack me. And here Garen, is just split pushing. I nearly died to Garen under tower, so I'm actually going to be forced to flash away. And I finally pick up the kill on Garen under the tower. He's really, really tanky. He's tanking so much tower shots, and I'm struggling to kill him. Obviously, he's really, really fed. He's now 9k plus gold. He has Hullbreaker. He was alone. He had Black Cleaver. Wowee, he was just so fed, so tanky. And yeah, that's why we need this on-hit kind of tank shredding build to, of course, deal with these problems like the Garen and as well as the Amumu. Galio has Rod of Ages, which gives him, of course, both health as well as AP. So, of course, that will work very well. Work very well for us because we have Bork and we're gonna get Wit's End a little bit later on. So here, Galio tries to go in on me for some reason. I'm gonna stealth, pretend to walk away, walk back, and he wards, but he can't see me because I'm invisible, and I'm just gonna kill him. See, I've slowed him with the Blade of the Rune King, and then I'm just going to run him down. He's slightly out of my range, so I'm going to have to ult to finish him off, but I do finish him off regardless, and yeah. So you can see, like, especially when they're alone, there's no way that they can really fight you. I mean, Garen could definitely fight me, but I honestly think 1v1 against anyone else on their team, I think I can probably kill them at this point. And so here I'm going to stealth mid, because it looks like a fight might happen. So here I pop the trap onto Zeri. Zeri gets rooted. Unfortunately, I get trapped as well, because Twisted Fate happened to be in the area. Stun crunch me and I die. I try to QSS and finish off the Zeri, but it does not happen. Zeri does eventually die to Leona, though what Leona is now dead to rights, and she's now just getting run down by Twisted Fate. In the meantime, Garen just causing more shenanigans, split pushing. Of course, going for the Hullbreaker build, it's really obvious what the game plan from Garen is. He's just gonna keep on split pushing. And Akshan's now getting cut off by Twisted Fate's ulti. But Twisted Fate himself is getting chased down. No, actually he was not. I don't know what I saw on the minimap there. But yeah, so kind of a really, really hectic, entire situation here. So here, honestly, obviously my Akshan is pretty fed. I'm actually pretty fed as well, although it does not really look like it. But of course we have to deal with way too many problems on the enemy team. Twisted Fate and Amumu and Garen are all really fed, and Zeri her KD is not good, but she's not too far behind. Like, she's only 1k gold behind me, 1k gold behind me, so she can, of course, scale up and get to the point where she can carry the team as well. So basically, the whole enemy team are a problem. you know, stating the obvious, of course. The enemy team is always the problem in Wild Rift. Anyways, here we have a little bit of downtime. Nothing is happening, so we're just going to take this opportunity to get some farm from the jungle. And we can see the next wave coming in, so we're just going to farm the next wave as well. And the only objective up now currently is actually Baron, but neither team is really, you know, at a state that we can do it. We're almost equal in goal overall. If you guys take a look at the top of the screen, we're almost equal in goal, and you know, a fight should be a relatively close one. So everyone's just kind of, you know, this kind of the boring part of the game where nothing really happens. I try to make something happen by trying to find a catch onto Zeri. We managed to get her flash, and once again, you know, one trade on her takes up about half of her HP. Here, we get the tower, and I'm just gonna back. Unfortunately, Twisted Fate's card hits me, and I'm unable to back. So here I'm just gonna stealth and see if I can really do anything about the situation. Nothing too much. I'm just gonna walk further back and back here instead. I got my Wits End completed. So this is like the 3 core items for the on-hit build completed. Of course, getting more reminder later on is huge as well. But of course, getting the we have our 3 core items now, which is really strong. You have to keep in mind that spells like Twisted Fate Out is going to reveal you when you're in stealth. So you always want to take note of that. So if Twisted Fate has Out and you stealth, you're going to get seen. Of course, this control ward can also see me. So here we're doing Dragon. We're doing it pretty slow. It's so obvious Amumu's just waiting there to steal. So here Amumu goes in pretty early, honestly. And here we're trying to go in and focus him instead of the Dragon. So here I'm just attacking Amumu. Amumu gets the steal on the Dragon. Here I'm just kiting away. Now I'm popping the ult to get the range. I don't QSS actually, I flash away instead. I'm trying to focus down Amumu to get the reset. Akshan gets the kill on him, and as well, sorry, not Akshan. Irelia gets the kill on him as well as Zeri. And now we have a new problem, which is Garen. So now, I know that the tower is gone at this point, so there's no point in me backing. I'm just gonna instead just continue pushing and try to trade towers instead. Garen is forced to run away on foot because he's not gonna be able to recall since Evelyn is now chasing him down. So with the rest of his team dead, our Galio is actually alive, but Galio, we can see him in the top lane. So now we can get an inhibitor in the mid lane. Of course, it's the least available inhibitor, but inhibitor is an inhibitor, so we're still going to get that anyway. And while we're at it, we're going to deny some jungle farm, or so we thought, until Garen decides to run in at us 1v3. So Garen basically is just getting chain CC here, and of course I'm doing damage to him using my Borg and auto attacks as, you know, as we go along. But yeah, Garen dies slowly but surely. So now my team wants to do Baron. So here we actually killed both Garen and Galio. So here we only have Amumu, Twisted Fate, as well as Zeri to do it. You can see that they know we're doing Baron because Twisted Fate is ulting, so they know that this is happening. So we're gonna have to try to do it quickly before Amumu can get here, and we are able to do it. And here we are all gonna try to back, but the enemy team shows up and tries to find a fight afterwards. So here, because they commit so heavily, I'm just blasting them in the back line. You can see I popped the ult. I'm just blasting Amumu. And my team can take care of the final member, which is the Zeri. So I'm just gonna head over here and clear this wave to get, you know, all that juicy gold, as well as gold from this Krug. And then I can reset and see, you know, what I can get. I'm trying to help Evelyn get the red buff here so that I can get the buff share. And we unfortunately don't have enough to get the Maul Reminder, but we do have enough to get both of its components. So, you know, that's pretty good. Still get the Armor Pen from the Last Whisper, as well as the Anti-Heal. Of course, Anti-Heal is not exactly that useful in this match because they don't have that much healing. Of course, the Last Whisper component is more important because of how tanky they are in this particular match. And here the Elder Dragon is spawning. And of course the whole enemy team is alive, but so is ours. So it's gonna be a fight at the Elder Dragon. I realize that he's split pushing, so on one hand we have a separate point of pressure, but on the other hand we have one less member here, so we have to be a little bit careful. Garen tries to just walk straight in. I'm popping the ulti. We get the Elder Dragon actually, so I'm able to just blast them into next week. I'm kiting away. I nearly die. I QSS in panic, and I'm going to let my team finish off the Galio. In the meantime, Irelia is now onto the enemy Nexus, and she is going to be able to just end the game. So as I mentioned, it really looked like we didn't do that much, but remember, you know, we actually did do very well, as you guys will see in the stats about to come up. So with that, thank you guys for watching the video, and goodbye.